Oh, okay. I guess we're live still, but we will be getting a game shortly. We picked out the Cadillo gaming player to watch, and the player to watch that we picked out is Punk, and of course there's so many different players that we can pick across these two teams, and the reason I've chosen Punk is specifically just because he is very new, and we're straight into the pistol, folks. 3v3 instantaneously, and ODDIK are trying to encroach upon this A bomb site.
Well, yeah, I mean, the fact that we're already sitting in the 3-3 so early on, I mean, you can see the positioning here, and Cole is just kind of waiting in the back of Z, just hoping to find maybe some good bit of a cross. Bomb's going to go down already, so again, there is one kid available, but now Gafolo has to be able to stay alive. He's getting overwhelmed by the numbers right now. Koala just gets annihilated with a Glock already, and now just leaving it down to the IGL. Not a hope in hell it's going to happen at all. A triple kill is going to come through. ODDIK find themselves a pretty magnificent pistol.
Marios with all five. We didn't get to see the first few kills in that sequence, but those last three were magnificent. I mean, dink after dink and conversion of the kills is what you like to see. And already the Sharks are out on the back foot. And obviously I can't talk into the conditioning just yet because we didn't see that opening. But keep in mind these sandwich smokes that we keep tossing in every round from the T side is very crucial to allowing plays like this from Woody to happen. He can scale to heaven if he wants, or he can play in the back of the red train. And either option is very valuable. Look at Naite using this long range as Woody cuts it from the other end.
Yeah, such an interesting stack too, right? I mean, the Sharks actually just trying to group up, just beside Brown Train like that, and just grouping up with the pistols, just trying to be a little bit. Oh, it is nice, not bad at all. But trying to be a little bit creative. I mean, best thing to do. But I mean, that nade to start it off, man, like that, there was already so much utility damage from ODDIK, so really good work from them. They didn't get over antsy on anything, and they handled it with pretty much good ease.
Yeah, and straight away, Nix wants to go for the glass cannon, and I'm glad that he understands the importance of this gun on this map. But what does he do with it? He is frail, considering the lack of armor, and that could come back to bite him if he wants to play something a little bit more aggressive. He's got to hold on to these long lines and utilize them very effectively. We've got him peering down into the T-Con, and the initial aggression from the Sharks is very dangerous, I'd say, but they still go 1-for-1. It's not the worst thing in the world. Marios does spot out another, and trying to get out and trying to defuse the situation, he'll fall.
Yeah, really good bit of a crunch. Gofolo and his teammate just actually putting it a little bit more problematic now. So that's going to be a good situation for them, but already the HP's low, right? 31 for RDN, 16 for Gafolo. RDN's going to be able to find that kill. It doesn't even matter. Nix tries to go for the shot, not going to be able to land it. So now it's just down to two. The lonely two here for ODDIK. A MAC-10 with a Galil. They got that bomb in their control, but again, that utility, it's lackluster. They don't even have a smoke. They have just double flash with an HE. So for them, they're going to be relying on just getting a paw flash into the site.
Yeah, the captain and Punk have a lot of real estate to work with, and there are players on the Shark side that are low. But and on this map specifically, you have a lot of angles to clear if you're the T side that it's going to be hard to clear out some of these low HP players. The walk back is in, and RDN still has an angle to help out his teammate. Still nothing to actually be given to the T side just yet, and there we go. Body spotted, and shot taken. RDN will hit Woody to the ground. It's all into the new boy, Punk, with 10 seconds left on the clock, and he hasn't cleared out Gafolo at all. So, good work from the Sharks. They do a good job in terms of the initial aggression to try and shut down that upper B play. And they even find a response to the fact that ODDIK take A control as well. So already starting to see a little bit of call and response from Sharks, and they're doing it well.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed too. Like, I mean, the fact that there was a smoke picked up from Woody too, and the fact that like he didn't have like the right lineup to get Z, like, because that's what his mission was, right? He was upper with his teammate, goes for a really awkward throw, like just exposing his whole body. So, I mean, just giving up a body like that just seems so unnecessary, especially with the numbers being down. But I mean, that's the difference, right? This is where maps, big changes and nobody knows the right lineups. But good trades coming back and forth here. Not saying he's going to be able to find it. Right back onto Gafolo. But Doc just waiting on the other side of the smoke. They're putting a lot of presence onto this T-Con and ladder. And that bomb is not making any sort of direction right now at all, Paladin. They're just kind of waiting up. They want to see what they can find for opening picks. And it's not looking like it could be unless we can see something big from the new blood, but not even then.
It's a weird peak, and it doesn't net them any bloodshed on the either end, but it's going to be this late crunch into Pop Dog, and they get their man. Terra hits the deck, and that's a huge kill to find. I mean, 2 smokes for ODDIK to try and get their way out of the T connector, but they've got to find some frags now. They've really got to push some of these players off. And they'll find one. Doc hits the ground, and so does RDN. But Nyx has found the rotation, but all of his teammates are falling around him. He's got to clutch up in the big time right now. And he brings it to a 1v1. Matios doesn't want anything to do with it, so he diffuses the situation, rotates back over to the B bomb site, and now he has a chance to reset, to really put the hurt on this Opper. And Nyx switches over to the AK, so he'll have a little bit more mobility to him, but he's taking the long route. He's got the kit, so he's got that time to spare, but when does the penny drop in Matios' head? When does that Spidey signal tingle in the back of his head? He's gotten into Z now, so surely he's got an inkling. And with the bomb planted that far ahead, Nyx will have to show his face. So he's going to drop a smoke, maybe try to goad out this T-sided player, and Matios doesn't bite just yet, but here comes the spam, but Matios has the transfer. And that's some beautiful work there. It's a tough shot to complete on a Nyx, but he does it in spades, and ought to continue their winning ways, bouncing back with their third.
Yeah, not a bad attempt at all from Sharks. I mean, I like that Nyx, like, you know, tried to go a different way. Like, he had a lot of time, but again, like you kind of mentioned, it's a very difficult site to retake on. You have to clear so many different angles. Really good post-plan position from Mattheos, so you gotta love to see it. So, I mean, right down to the wire, the 1v1, but a 3-1 we go. Sharks just going to try to put everything on this one. They're going to try to just reinvest as much as possible. Even Doc's just going to go for the 5-7. He's just going to go 5-7 utility, just making sure they can get that control of T-Con as much as possible. Woody, though, oh my god, he's going to get this. They're right beside each other. They have no idea. No, man, they're blind. And now, okay, AK spamming away. Nick's not able to find this trade. So, in such a weird and chaotic situation, ODDIK's able to find themselves in the slightest of a man advantage here with 3 HP as a bragging point, but now it's just a question of them going for the execute. They're going to do the 2-2 split onto this, looking to see if they can get, you know, this T-Con control and outside of Pop as well. But Nyx is going to try to find himself an opportunity. Oh, this is getting awkward. This is getting weird. Oh, man, do they even have the slightest idea that he could be here? This is so much real estate. This is such a strong position. That Molotov is going to give it away. He can just swing, and he will win that fight. And once again, this thing is just getting even more crazy. What the hell is happening right now?
All this vying for T-Con has created so many dead bodies around that angle. I mean, you can look at the top left of your screens, and to make matters worse for ODDIK, the bomb is on the ground. Yes, they've got the man advantage, but at what cost? Nite's low HP as well, so he can't necessarily move. Koala's going to swing into this angle, and Nite's got to have his wits about him, and he absolutely does. Great work to at least get one and put RDN into the clutch. 1v3 in total now needed for the vet. Flash good. We'll get RDN off the angle, but now he's got a duel, and Matios is there again with impact. 10-1 to start off this game, and they vanquish this aggressive purchase from the Sharks, and now they should have a little bit more breathing room.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just kind of these mid-round situations too, right? I mean, it feels like Sharks have a really decent start in the sort of the rounds, and then it kind of feels like everything fizzles, right? And that's where ODDIK's playing really, really well. They're able to just get themselves in better control. They just use some of the time, and they just try to gain some space. But I mean, this is good work from them. This is where we said we weren't really sure what to take away from this matchup, just given the history of what these teams have played against. You know, that edge is probably on paper for Sharks, but right now, ODDIK have done such a great job of just getting themselves in full steam ahead here. Deal going to be able to find a nice connection, but Matthews is going to be able to find this read. He will. Will he expect RDN to be close on by? Now he's going to try to just go for this fight. He'll be able to win this one too. Okay, so RDN finds himself a double kill. No kit, no armor available for these CT players. So this is where, again, they either have to make the decision, do we want to just go for it, try it? But honestly, at this point, it feels like it'd be the best option to save this AK just despite their money situation.
Yeah, it's definitely a save kind of situation. I mean, honestly, good work from ODDIK. I can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to get out of T-Con as fast as possible. They're trying to have a player Olaf or a player behind that red train straight away. And is working for the most part. I mean, Night is having a lot of impact, but overall, it's going to be a real problem point for the Sharks. They've got to find a way to deal with it. They're going to have to toss a bunch of utility and really push these T-sided players off the angle and force some respect out of them. Be it taking nades to the face or bullets, either one. But right now, having 2 players jump out of T-Con early is unacceptable. You cannot let that happen, or else this game is going to spiral out of control.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, from the history books here, Paladin, I mean, we've seen Sharks in many situations where things look like they're getting out of control, and they really do kind of push themselves back in these games, right? So I feel like we've been here in this scoreline before, but we'll see. Very different opponent, very different situation, but I mean, a 5-1 lead right now for ODDIK is perfect, right? And one more, they're going to be guaranteed the half with the 6 minimum, but everything right now is just landing these first opening duels. A couple of cheeky little spamma lineups as well. These guys have been doing some homework. They've been watching some videos. Not bad at all.
Oh, aggression again from Naite. And nearly had Doc's number as well, but Gafolo with his dead teammates AWP gets the job done. And with that, ought to consider just slowing the pace of the round down. Why not? You have no idea if there's potentially a second op in place. And instead, you can just take map control. They've got all of Brown Halls now. Plenty of utility for a BXE if they want to go to that. And I think they're considering it. So let's see what Woody's got cooked up in the kitchen. How can he push off Koala, a very capable anchor, off this B bomb site?
Yeah, Mully lands nicely on a Koala. He's in an uncomfortable situation. He's getting roasted, and he was just trying to look for that desperate swing to get that duel. Now Gafolo, he's going to be locked and loaded with the op. He makes the first connection, looking for more. Yes, indeed. He finds that double. But a good trade back here from RDN, leaving it just down to the last lonely player. It's all down to him in the 1-on-2 with 20 seconds remaining. Going to be able to get this bomb down. And now Punk's going to be able to see what he can be able to find. I mean, Doc, again, he's wounded. He's down to 32. No utility. Punk hasn't been able to find a duel in his favor at all. It's just been assists. Maybe now a moment for him to shine bright. The newest addition onto this team. Both the CTs now creeping into the site with 1 kid available. No smokes, nothing to block off the vision. It's all about the timing here. And Punk just needs to be able to find this kill. It's an easy one. It's a little bit messy, but now he's trying to see what he can do. And now he's just using a little bit of tic-tac-toe, but unfortunately, he gets caught with a full face of lead, and Doc will be able to find a second round stolen away.
I mean, you know he's not on the bomb at that point. Why are you ducking your head up and down? Like, just leave. Go back to the safety of the upper halls and force him to defuse the bomb. That was nearly perfectly played there from Punk, but he gets just nervous in that 1v1. Understandable, right? Because he does miss that little bit of a spray once he does complete the first kill. And unfortunately, it doesn't work out. So, weird buy, double eco territory for ODDIK. They've done well to get out of T-Con here early, but this time around, they're okay with just tossing some nades and playing a little slower.
Oh, big swing. Great flash coming in from Woody, just allowing Punk to be able to get for that massive bit of a Ferrari. But now, giving them the man advantage once again. Got the singular AK though, so they still have a full threat of all these rifles. And now, it's actually a little bit trades back and forth. Nyx finally puts that op a little bit to work. Just in the blink of an eye, we're down to the 2v2 with the bomb being dropped on the red train. So not an advantage situation at all here from ODDIK. A lot of thinking they have to do here. And instead, they're actually going to split apart here, Paladin. Very interesting. They're going to just try to see what they can do. But I like this play. Matthews is in a strong position. He might be able to find a backstab. He might be able to get this timing potentially. This could really catch them off guard.
Nyx is watching it, though. Trained in on the Z connector. And because of that, it looks like Marius wants to go all the way around. But Koala's aggressive here. He's been spotted out by Seroterra, which means you'll have to move around a little bit more. 35 seconds left on the clock. Marius can still have impact with his deagle, and what a ripper of a headshot. That's a brutal one for the Sharks camp. And it thrusts the Opper back into another clutch. 1v2 necessary. 25 seconds left on the clock. And now that bomb is
gone.
recoverable. Oh, a sitter of a shot missed from Nyx puts this one into jeopardy. It really puts this one into jeopardy, but Nyx is still fighting. One bullet left in the chamber. He's got to hit it where it counts. A little bit of a timing, but Sarah comes out the better, bobbing and weaving around the bomb train. And ODDIK bounced right back again with the force buy.
This is exactly what I'm talking about, where like in these mid-round situations, in these clutch situations, you just see Sharks, like they almost look like they're panicking and they don't know what to do. Like you already had good positioning where you had Nyx just watching the Z flank. You know, you had the other teammate that was in deep, you know, T-con. They had the information, like they had the full idea, but that opening DEEK shot, man, oh man, that just it really put a ruffle in the feathers. And now we're going to see the first time going to be used out here from the Sharks, and rightfully so. I mean, that was a round probably they shouldn't have never lost. I mean, again, let's not forget that was Tech9s with 1 AK saved, so, or 1 AK on the board. So again, ODDIK just finding themselves in these unique situations to get round wins.
Yeah, it is crafty from ODDIK to say the least. I think they're doing a very good job in that sense. And that's kind of why I like watching Woody play the game. Because he's got a good understanding of how to call. And, you know, he doesn't necessarily provide the most impact as an opper necessarily. And that's what held him back from being on the best of Brazilian teams. I think about his time on Fluxo, joining hands with Zeus and leading that organization to their first major. And then being discarded because he was considered not an S-tier opper. But at this point, you've still not seen Fluxo return to that glory, and I really have to give him credit for that because he was the one that gave them any bit of structure. And you can see that right now. They've got a clear game plan of trying to get out of T-Connector as early as possible, doing a lot with that control. And then if things don't go according to plan, there are options. There are methods and mid-rounds to get out of the B site, to reclaim the bomb on the A site from different avenues, from Pop Dog, from T-Con, from Old Bomb as well. So there's so many different options here that ODDIK are really understanding and feeling the map very well. And this is with a player that has just been introduced to this team yesterday. And that's what makes it really exciting. It's really forcing Sharks to come up with answers on the fly that I don't necessarily think they have right now. They don't have the tape. They don't have the experience. And that's where a player like Woody can really be that extra edge in terms of that sword for ODDIK.
Yeah, that's what we were kind of mentioning again, like with, you know, with Woody is saying, like, you know, given his experience, like there's a lot that he can bring. Obviously we've, you know, we both have seen some goods and bads with his opping abilities, and that was the other thing, but I think we're definitely getting some, you know, really good calling. And I think that's a really good point you bring up, and a really critical one is the fact of having, you know, getting that T-Con control, getting the player out as fast as possible with some good utility to just flush out that position. That's really been a playmaker for them. So that's given them a lot of chance. Some good nades though, so Nate is going to get himself out of here. But again, the cost of his HP down to 44 so early on. And now, Deagle's 5-7s. Nate's still going to be able to find the better of Nyx. But an RDN Deagle once again finds himself a nice little bit of an opener. Now they have that pop dog control. This is getting to be a little bit in a not the greatest position in terms of the Sharks, because they have some real estate, sure, but again, that outside corridor, it's completely up for grabs right now for ODDIK.
They've been read like a book. I mean, they knew that the Brown Hall's aggression was coming, and as I mentioned in that little bit of a timeout, Nate has gotten out of T-Con nearly every round, and this time he'll do the exact same. It allows for a free A-bomb plant, and now puts the pressure back on the CT side, and I don't think they can necessarily go for it unless they've been gifted a kill, and with Doc hitting the ground, I don't think that's the case. RDN does chime in back with another, so he'll wrap in through Old Bomb, and he clears out Terra as well. That's a massive shot there from RDN. Woody now in a pressure situation. Nate as well, pushed in the back of the bomb site, and now it's all on Nate as Woody's been smoked off as the bomb continues to tick down. There shouldn't be time on the clock, but at least they can take bodies with them, you'd like to think. And yeah, Nate will fall, but the ground is still in ODDIK's favor.
Yeah, I mean, really good effort from Sharks, despite them, like you said, getting read like a book. So, I mean, they did a lot of damage considering what they invested into this. So, not bad at all. But the op does get saved here from ODDIK. It's a good note for them. Still plenty of cash that they can get themselves right back into a gun round. But Round number 10 is going to be really, really important because now we're sitting at that 7-2. So ODDIK have now guaranteed themselves, you know, the half victors, but it's really going to be about a marginal. How much can they do? RDN going for the good T-Con instant smoke, which is going to be really nice. That might block things off just a little bit with the deep Molotov as well. So that's a little bit of a change up from the Sharks. But now you can see ODDIK. They're just like, you know what? Let's just go through them all these. Who cares? We're just going to barrel on in. Who the hell cares about this utility? Now Koala finally stepping up to the plate when he needs to with that double kill. But then he gets a little bit bested. But at least these trades are coming back and forth here for Sharks, putting them in the 4-on-2, making this more of a challenging situation here for ODDIK. They have to still pick up the bomb. It's still dropped. They haven't been able to find it. Everybody's just hitting the floor, leaving it down to Woody. And Sharks, they react perfectly for round number 10.
I actually thought the call there from ODDIK was brilliant, right? You've been conditioning the T-Con control for so long. 3-4 players trying to deal with that T-Con presence, tossing so much utility that it was all a ruse. It put all the pressure on Koala, and you've got to give credit to him doing so well to get a double kill there and stall out the attack just long enough for the rotations to come in. You have a fast pop dog flank as well, and that was absolutely massive. So credit to Koala, again, an unsung hero on this roster, but provides so much impact to this team, and it puts ODDIK on another low purchase. It's not what you'd like to have in this kind of a situation, but they're going to have to do considering they're on single loss.
Yeah, lots of options. And that's the thing, too. We haven't really seen ODDIK go for, like, these B pops. We haven't really seen them go for that many times in the 11 rounds that we've had so far in this game. But we'll see what they want to go for this. A lot slower of a pace. They don't go for that T-Con control. They just kind of wait things out. Molly's not going to make the connection, not going to give a noise cue. But look at that T-Con control from the CT side. Gafolo's already posted up. Deep smoke. Blocking off Nante now. He's just trying to see if he can get himself a lucky shot. Nyx posted up on Pop Dog. A lot of pressure for him. Some of that utility available if they decide to go for a little bit of a pop swing on this. 46 seconds, though. The clock is running down. Nobody's seen each other. No damage getting inflicted except for one against what? Ponk, which really isn't anything. Sharks just waiting patiently. This is a change-up. This is a huge change-up in the change of the pace here from ODDIK. Now the nades are going to get thrown. Mathos trying to throw a little bit of a fake, trying to just do a little bit of, you know, tease on this maybe. And now Nyx missing his first shot, looking to see can he find a connection. Does a little bit of damage through E-Box. But now Gafolo and his teammates going to be loading up these rifles, all just down to one player remaining with a Tech 9 in hand, hoping for some kind of a kill, but it's going to be a flawless round here for Sharks.
Yeah, I do, again, like the calling there from ODDIK to try and sell a little bit of rotation. Sharks are biting on so much right now because of how well Woody has been moving around the rotations generally in this half. But unfortunately, and this has been a problem for this team for so long, it's not the calling, it's the shooting. And this time around, of course, they didn't have the guns to do it, but either way, great work from the Sharks to reorient themselves. Gafolo having to do a lot of the heavy lifting in that situation. He has been in a lot of different rounds that I've seen when we've casted the Sharks. And you know what? If your captain can put his team on his back, then by all means.
A little bit of an interesting double stack. Deep smoke here from Alley. And they go for a swing. Good trade, though, from Nate. Oh, he will be able to find that second. Okay. And now he looks for himself for a 30. He does so much inflicting of damage. Things are getting a little bit more tagged here. And now RDL gets overwhelmed here with the AK. Look at ODDIK. Look at the position they're in. They can go all the way in the back now. They can just try to go, you know, on the back skirts of CT spawn. They're going to wait things out. How is Nyx missing that shot? And how is he alive? And he gets away with one more. The trade comes back through. And it's all just down to Koala by himself now in a clutch situation here with 50 seconds to spare. Full HP, full utility, and a kit. Gets the dink onto Mathios. Now trying to see if he can get the job done with some utility, and he will, but it will not happen. And ODDIK are going to be able to find themselves sitting at an 8-4 as we get it ready for that second half. All right, we're ready to go for the second half, and that was an 8-4 in the lead here for ODDIK, where we saw some really good strategy being utilized. But now the question is, can they still show us some good defensive positioning here against the Sharks? And I guess we're about to find out here, Paladin.
Yeah, they've got a lot of work to do. Gafolo especially. It's a talking point as to whether or not he can get it done on this side of the map. But they're into the A bomb site straight away. But Terra aggression through the Brown Halls, drops the bomb, finds 2 kills, 1 for each Beretta, and he's looking for a couple more heads being spotted, but finally Koala deals with him. So that C4 is recoverable at this point, whether they know it or not. And they're going to have to find a way to link hands with Gafolo, because Gafolo's got a lot of room here to maneuver around. And it's on a bit of a timer, because eventually he will get cleared, maybe a shoulder will get spotted, and that's when problems arise. But with how apprehensive ODDIK are to recover this bomb, or the Sharks rather, to recover this bomb, it's taking a lot of time off the clock. And again, Gafolo's position is just going to get that much more difficult. Woody is searching for some answers. He finds that the C4 has been dropped, and he spots a body.
Yeah, this is good info, though. And the fact that Woody's actually still kind of re-aggressing onto this, too. Still looking for more. So now he can at least relay the communication. Gavolo now has to be able to find a bit of an opening here. Making some noise, and now he should be able to get caught here. Nate should be able to find this free duel. There it is. So now the sandwich, and Punk's going to be able to find himself a double, and there we go. ODDIK once again will continue on their winning ways. Sitting at a 9-4, but I didn't mind that from Sharks. I didn't mind the slow pace, and like you said, I think Gafolo is in a unique position just because of where he was. But again, we needed to see something more to allow him to get some space, but unfortunately it just felt like a little too late after Woody spotted him.
I actually like the initial game plan there from Sharks. It's the sandwich smoke, the deep Molotov into the back lanes, and you get Gafolo out instantaneously to suggest that it's an A-rush, but instead you're trying to take Brown Hall's control straight away, maybe throw a little bit of a set piece, or just trying to barrel through down into that bomb site. But obviously, the wrinkle in that round that completely unravels it is the aggression from Terra through Brown Halls. And as soon as he drops the bomb, the jig is up. Gafolo's position is basically useless unless somehow he finds a head later on in the round. And he had a great crossfire to make sure that he felt uncomfortable. Punk read the rest of the round like a book, and yeah, very well done there. Very well synthesized from the CT side. And it's hard to do it in pistol rounds, you know? I mean, I feel like the pace of those rounds can be very fast. And when you slow those rounds down, it's hard to kind of, you know, change the style of your aiming in a way, right? Where you're trying to be very flicky with how you approach the early game. And then when it kind of gets drawn out to that default, you have to really pick your poison and really click that mouse one as slow as possible, you know?
Yeah, isn't that the truth? And I mean, it's a good point, because we haven't really seen... I feel like a lot of the rounds have been actually pretty good paced, right? I mean, I feel like the second last round in the first half, I think ODDIK went for like a very slow take, which I feel like we never really got to see. Like, it always felt like aggression out T-Con, or some kind of aggression looking for information right away. So when we get these slower plays, it's still, again, just it's good to see on a map like this, just because we have no idea, you know, what could happen. And this version of Train just allows for so many different varieties of, you know, options, I think, on both sides, right? Where the lesser trains, I don't know, you could argue it's good and bad. I think there's a lot of mixed results from the community about this, but nonetheless, I mean, ODDIK, I feel pretty impressed with them so far. I feel like everything they've done has been really up to snuff. I feel like it's been really clean for the most part. A couple little hiccups, obviously, but I mean, the mid-rounding has just been phenomenal.
Yeah, and that's really what makes Train so good for strategic teams, is if you got a good caller, you can run circles around the other team. There are ways to do it. And of course, you talk about some of the best Train teams in the world. You talk about what Fallen has done when he was on SK and LG. You talk about Glaive and how he won his first major on this map by playing out of his mind, both cerebrally and in the game as well, like in the server as well. And the potency of these IGLs in this kind of a map is so important. So that's why I really do gauge the strength of these teams by their callers when I look at this map. I've seen the body of work that Woody has, and I compare it to the very short body of work that Gofolo has, and that's not necessarily his against him, right? He's a great player. He's done a lot of great work in the Brazilian scene, but hasn't had the opportunity to be a caller at this level, and because of that, you're really up on a creek without a paddle, right? And you really have to kind of put that onus on your teammates to kind of dig you out of it, and they haven't necessarily lived up to that just yet.
Well, thankfully we get a short technical pause. I was getting a little worried that might have gone a little bit longer, but thankfully we're right back into the action. And now we're going to see a full commitment from Sharks. Is going to group up a little brute force, see what they can be able to find. I mean, even Koala with a Zeus, like, all right, that's optimistic, man. All right, that's a bold play. That's really counting.
You're telling me they're gonna aggress all the way through Brown Halls and then go right to those stairs? Yeah.
I don't know what demos or what he's been watching, but yeah, the chances of that are what, like less than 1%, I would say. But hey, look, I love to be proven wrong. I always love a good Zeus skill.
I think Sarutera has just like made them terrified at this point after that pistol. Terrified that it's a possibility that he could be in Brown Halls at that position again. But not to be. Instead, they will inchworm their way over to this B-bomb site. Gofolo will be the tip of the spear here. At least they were considering it. They don't have anything. They don't have any utility. They don't have any method in kind of breaking back into this into these bomb sites. No flash, no smoke. They're just gonna have to be raw aim duels, and of course, as you can see, with only around $200 invested, there's not really much to write home about here. They're gonna rot the clock down as much as possible, see if they can burn some utility, which they have. But this should be a mop up here, and it absolutely will be. Nighte and Matios do a great job, and Doc can't convert any little bit of whiffage there from Nighte. So he'll continue on with the 20-plus affair on train. And ODDIK now knocking on the door of their map victory straight away, breaking this undefeated streak.
Yeah. Really, really happy to see what Nate is able to bring to this because, you know, again, he was somebody that we were kind of looking at a little bit as well, just saying, like, he can definitely put up some good numbers, but, you know, it's a question if he can still maintain that form. It looks like, yeah, indeed he will. So he's sitting himself. He's the only one at over 20 kills. Everybody else, you know, pretty much far behind. I mean, Matthew's sitting at 14 and 8, but everybody else is under 10. So it's been a little bit more heavy lifting for these two. We'll see if they can do a little bit more of the deadlifts here with the last remaining couple rounds, if they can close things off. But this round, again, you know, for round number 15, despite the positioning from Sharks, I mean, they go for a big investment, but at least Koala can be able to find this trade back. Some of that utility still intact now. Still got the smokes, a couple mollies ready to go. The question is, where do they want to go with this, though? Again, like you can see the positioning, 2 in T-Con, 2 towards Pop, so they're just going to go for the crunch outside. Which leaves it just to Nate and also for Woody. Oh my god, Koala. Okay, that's a little bit of an opener.
That's lovely. And it does relieve some pressure, but at the end of the day, they are kind of boxed in here. Matios has pushed all the way through the Brown Halls, understands what's ahead of him, and Sharks call a freeze. They've got the man advantage. They're hoping that the CTs get antsy, and they absolutely will. Matios will continue to aggress as a head spotted, but Nyx completes the kill. 2v4 now, as Sharks have an avenue to go back to the B-bomb site if they choose. But they're standing their ground, and so will Nighte and Punk. But that little bit of a lurk smoke will really cause some concern for the CTs, and this should be an open and shut case, but 20 seconds left on the clock. They've got to start getting a move on, and with how slow they're taking, there's still a world where Nighte and Punk can make a round out of this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're still in great positions just like that. That's already becoming a problem. That variable's just even gotten harder to solve, and he can't be able to find a double, but now time is ticking. It's down to 5, and all they got to do is find this kill, but thankfully they get their blessings of stars and counting things because they do get themselves a 5th round, but my god, why do they have to make it that close?
I mean, RDN had the round in the palm of his hand. If he gets just one more in that double swing there, then it's game on, but unfortunately, both of these players are kind of playing a bit of one-and-done positions, and it comes back to haunt them, but you're already seeing a couple of these issues that when the going gets tough and you're into those late round situations. I'm backing Woody to make the right call every single time, but when it's Gofolo, I'm a little apprehensive. Obviously, and that one, they were given a little bit of a gift, but we'll see if they can keep doing something with the little bit of momentum that they've been given. ODDIK will purchase right back in. Woody will not have his AWP, but right now, and with how much the aggression has been working out for ODDIK on both halves, I think Woody will be happy with just having these guns up.
No fast outside take coming in from Sharks. Actually, Sirutera's going to get himself close and personal right now into Paw. He's got that MP9 still, a strong weapon in this kind of position, but needs the perfect timing for it. Nate just playing a little bit of the shake and bake. Waiting to see what he's going to be able to find. Maybe finding that trade, but Sirutera can be able to find a kill in this position. This is going to be huge. Here's the nade. Not going to even really turn away from this. Oh my god! He finds the double! He's eating them alive!
Oh, that was sick from Sirutera. His SMG work has been sublime on this map of Train. And that has just axed the round right in front of Shark's face. I have a sneaking suspicion they knew that that setup was there. Especially considering if they're taking it as slow as they will see the shoulder first. That pop flash, I mean, that setup was brilliant from the Sharks. They should have gotten that kill. At least a trade, but man, what great work from Sirutera. Now, 40 seconds of nothingness for the Sharks as they cower back in the upper brown halls. And ODDIK will find themselves their 11th. What a round.
Yeah, and it just, again, the fact that it comes into a double kill like that, right? I mean, in that kind of an angle too, like that's not an easy shot to hit, right? I mean, that's it's kind of an awkward angle, but the fact he gets away with it.
It's T favored, right? Every single time. Man.
Every single time, exactly. And I mean, for Sharks, they have to save. They have no options on that. I mean, they were banking on getting, you know, worst case scenario. Well, maybe not worse, but I guess one of the scenarios was going for the 1-1. But yeah, losing 2 like that with a blink of an eye, not going to be good for them. But I mean, look, they still got some money afloat that they can work with this, so they can definitely work around these double AKs they got. But now Sirutera is going to be getting himself that AK back in his hand. I mean, from what we've seen from ODDIK, I mean, they have lots of different options. They could kind of mix things up and get that brown hole control once again. I mean, they could even try to crunch onto T-Con this time. We haven't really seen any of the CTs really going for a fight in alley yet, which has been a little surprising for me, but it feels like it's kind of that one spot of the map that's just kind of abandoned so far.
Yeah, nobody knows how to play that part of the map yet, and I understand why. There's so many different angles to deal with if you're a T player that it's hard to figure out. There's no set way to scale on this part of the map just yet. And we'll need the help of some tier 1 folk to figure it out before tier 2 teams decide to adopt it. Or maybe they figure it out themselves. I don't know. But either way, 4v4 to start things out right now in round number 17. Naite, the big hitter. 23 kills, but down for the count here. And RDN trying to feint a little bit in Ivy, but nothing found. It's again, Matteo's getting aggressive in brown halls, but can't convert. Doc fast on the trigger. Does open the door to this B bomb site, but it would be into the waiting arms of the captain.
Yeah, now for ODDIK, I mean, again, a bit of a gambling situation for them being down by 2, so they're actually going to go, this is a good stack. They actually have a perfect read on this. Yeah. Oh, Sharks are, again, just putting all the eggs in this basket, and they're going to get ready for the B hit. You got Sirutera that's in Z. You also have Woody that's just kind of in the back skirts of upper ramp. So now, I mean, this should give them enough time. They got the molly that they can slow things down. Oh no, did he really just throw it behind the smoke? And indeed he does, but it cost him his life. And now Koala just trying to get that Galil in action, and indeed he will. But Woody now, oh my god, Woody! I thought maybe he was going to be able to find himself a gift, but unfortunately he only gets the one and done, and Sharks will get themselves another round, but good god, just barely.
The whiffing from the player in heaven was just brutal. I mean, Punk gets away with 2 kills there. Really made Woody's job in the clutch a doable one. But doesn't end up panning out for him. Really had a struggle bus, at least as an individual right now. And that's the blessing and the curse that comes with Woody, is that he does give you potency in the calling department, but sometimes can be lacking as a fragger. But we're going to see if they can make it work either way. Seroterra back up to his antics in Pop Dog, but this time getting a little bit more aggressive. He drops the smoke and plays in front of it, or right behind it rather, considering going through it, but we'll think better of it. The Sharks will completely circumvent him and consider this B play yet again. 5 players up on this end of the map, hoping that a CT will offer up their head, but nothing just yet.
Oh, exactly. Oh, man, it's just raining nades. And, oh, man, the MP9 from Woody almost gets that double. That could have really changed things around, but Seroterra is close on the heels. Nick's got a bit of an inkling on this. His spidey senses are tingling. And now the nade's getting thrown. The CTs on the other end of the map, they need to do something, and now they're dropping to the grave, and this might just be the save. And that's from Nate. Not able to find that kill. Now they're just realizing they got to concede defeat on this. And I don't even think there's a gun that he can pick up either. No, he's just going to have to preserve the MP9 for this one. But you know what? Despite Sharks going for a very slow take, it was a nice execute.
Yeah, I definitely do think so. There was still a couple of flub nades. They would have liked for that extra flashbang to hit. Would have hit the Bianca square in the face, but that missing did give an opportunity for ODDIK to get back into it. But no harm, no foul. Trades are still solid, and the Sharks still get the round, so they won't be too bothered with that result. But slowly and surely, they are clawing this one back to tees. Weird economy situation for ODDIK. They can purchase again if they want to around these saved guns, but they're doing this weird thing where they're buying vests so they can like play around with those guns, but they also don't have enough for the next. Unless, actually, no, never mind. They probably do have max loss at this point, so either way, we'll see what they can get done. Punk and Nate. Nate would have loved to get aggressive in a T-Con, but it'll be Punk who does it instead.
Yeah, really nice change up. And instead of Punk actually getting that duel, it's Woody! It's the IGL! He puts that 5-7 to work with the double kill. A nice flash thrown into Pop Dog. They're not going to be able to capitalize on it, though. At least they can slow things down. I don't know if Seroterra is going to be able to find this gun. Maybe he will, actually, because you can see Nyx has actually retreated his plan. Oh, man, is he really going to get rewarded with a free gun like this? And they're just going to put all the eggs into this basket once again, going into the B site. Double player from the CT side, waiting on this on the outskirts of the upper part. Oh, and they're going to re-aggress on this Koala. He's got a bit of an inkling, though. He has some kind of a bit of an itch, realizing maybe they could be this close. And I mean, this kind of an angle, Koala should have him dead to rights, and indeed he will. So now leaving down just to 2. Nate close up by. The smoke's going to get missed. Nate looking for maybe one more. That smoke might be able to save his life for a little longer. He will not. Leaving it down to Seroterra. Going to run through the mall. He's going to be able to find this extra kill. So now 34 HP, 25 here for Nyx. Everybody's wounded. One shot should be able to do. No utility at all for the CT side. Full belt here for Nyx. Seroterra looking to see what he can find. That smoke has really caused a lot of problems. Nyx just needs to burn the time as much as possible, but instead, he's going to get a bit more aggressive and comes up clutch once again.
I mean, this guy's had so much impact in that clutch situation, and he's not necessarily doing it with the AWPs in a lot of situations. It's onto the pistol or it's onto the rifle, but he's getting it done either way. Keeping ODDIK just a couple of feet behind them. And now, granted, ODDIK will still have a purchase, but Sharks are stringing things together. They're finding ways to get the job done in the mid-round, even when the early round isn't going in their favor. And that, you've got to give them some credit. But has that credit come to a close? Maybe. Seroterra again with a double and Pop Dog brings it down to a 2v4 with a minute 35. Sharks now have to stew in their own demise.
Ooh, cheeky little double stack. I feel like Seroterra is just trying to gain himself like a graffiti or something. That spot's just going to be known as him, right? Like every single time. Give the guy an MP9 and they'll get it done. The stack actually does work out nicely here for RDN, so still the advantage right now for ODDIK, but again, Sarah is low, down to the 18. But some good aggression. I'm pretty sure Sarah has already pushed pretty far up onto Hall as well. But now Sharks actually going to go down Ivy, something that we were just talking about that we don't see a lot of teams really utilizing that much. Bonk, though, does have the spot here. Just needs to stay alive. His life, if he gets taken out, this could be costly. Oh, he just overextends the peak. Oh, now things are awry. Now things are changing. And now this is becoming more of a problem here because, again, you still have the wounded player of Sarutera, but no kit on either of these players. So it's all about the gunfights. They have to be able to win this with 30 seconds remaining. And Sharks, look at how slow they're still taking this. They're just making sure every single angle is cleared possible.
They have to go A. They have to go A in this situation as the time rots. But Matios is still staying right behind the bomb site. And Sarutera has found the long-range kill. There is no way Matios isn't red. And Sarutera will just get the job done himself. So a quad kill for him. And he has been an absolute menace towards this Shark squad when he has that SMG in his hands. Pop Dog is locked down. And that repositioning into T-Con is even better. It took them a little bit of time here, Laz, but ODDIK have finally gotten over the hump.
Yeah, seems like they're looking a lot better and reformed now, right? I mean, that's where we were saying Nate was having himself a really good game, sitting at 24-14, but Sarutera has really just put a lot of impact in this game. You know, like you said, just getting in Pop Dog control, finding these double kills, or just at least that one duel. It really does kind of, you know, change the winds a little bit in this one. And now you can see Sharks realizing everything's kind of hitting a bit more of a halt here as we're going for the second time out for these guys. And I mean, this is 4 opportunities right now for ODDIK to get this thing closed out. But I mean, what do Sharks do? I mean, we've seen them try to go for the, you know, the big inner exec on the B site. We've seen them not really play aggressive on the outside corridor as much. It feels like they're taking a lot more slower rounds, so they're playing that kind of like methodical CS. Do we see a change in pace now?
You can definitely call it, but I'm afraid they haven't done enough conditioning to make it a possibility. They haven't gotten out of T-Con early. They haven't really done an instant B set piece as well, considering how aggressive Sarutera's been. So they don't have like the best avenues. I mean, they can try it, but they might get red pretty hard is the issue. So instead, they're gonna go to a position that hasn't been touched until last round, really. Ivy once again. Ponka's kind of struggled on this position. Hasn't really been tested beyond that last round. So they're gonna jump, peek it, run boost over, and Woody isn't here to necessarily use that AWP, but Ponk will have that early warning signal to know if there's some keys coming in his way, and he'll get some good damage in, but now it should be Woody. It should be Woody's time to shine, and he finds a barrel, and he'll take a kill as well.
Yeah, Woody getting a good opening duel. That's exactly what they needed. Now just to spam Pog. Oh my god, Nix, how are you alive with 2 HP to spare? Man, he's just getting blasted through the smoke, and now, I mean, this is a difficult position once again because look at how spread out they are. Now the bomb's even going to just slowly re-aggress back into T-Con. ODDIK are in such a prime position right now with 45 seconds. Another smoke getting thrown into T-Con. Nate's already pushed himself all the way through Brownhall. Oh, this is bad. This is real bad. And now he's got the noise cue. He can hear Nick's just throwing some of that utility. He can just either decide to push this up or he can just wait things out. And indeed, he's going to post up a little bit now. Now just waiting to see. RDN does find himself a little bit of an opener, but is it going to be enough? With 20 seconds remaining, they have to get moving. They need to do something. They need to get the ball rolling down this hill. And now that MP9 again, the demise, the Achilles heel for these guys just seems to be finding all these duels. But RDN, it might be a little too late as there are 8 seconds remaining. They just have to stay alive. They just need to retreat. They don't need to go for the gunfights, and this thing's over. And ARC's going to be able to find this with a 13-8 victory.
Oh, I mean, they really gave it to him there, RDN, but at the end of the day, ODDIK have played the far better Counter-Strike across the board. The T-sided calling from Woody looked spectacular, understanding where the chinks in the armor were